primarily, how do you feel about the case and just as far as the cooperation of the Panamanian authorities?
It's been a week and a day. We went in, did the denuncio, obviously a little hiccup in trying to get it done in the right place. The next day, a week ago, we're all in in 3 trucks going out there. Can't complain about that, that's unbelievable. Sunday, they take the day off. Monday, obviously, we went and bugged them. I don't know why we went over there, but we went and bugged them a little bit, or at least just checked in.
I think it was a DNA thing. Something about that.
Yeah, I think maybe it was that.
Yeah.
Go outside. So, there's no question being on the news helped. I know we were talking about when we were going to go there, so maybe it just made it expedited by a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, it was another kick in the ass that got the guy. So, but then they responded again. So the authorities, I don't know if it was the tail wagging the dog or what, but yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with it.
Their level of, the amount of the assets and resources that they committed to the investigation. And
we had, the task force last Saturday was 5 people.
5 or 6.
It was, okay, so we had 6, say, a week ago on Saturday. There was 11, 12.
Yeah, because all the criminology guys.
And they, their level of professionalism was excellent because when we we saw it. And yeah, we were able to go look at it ourselves and stick our head in. But then once they started putting on the white suits, it was all business.
So anyway, yeah, so you're happy and satisfied with their level of response and their.
I can't tell you how thankful I am. Also, there was sincere, especially with Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
There was sincere understanding of what happened and sincere interest. He responded when we would go in there and look. He would immediately check any updates on whatever he gets on his BlackBerry, and then he'd always check any files or any updates on his desk. So you can't ask for more than that.
Do you have confidence in the Panamanian judicial system moving forward from now that Javier Martin has been arrested? Do you have confidence in the Panamanian judicial system now that it's going to eventually go from a prosecution level to a court case?
Without having seen anything or ever watched a case go, I have to. I do know that they seem to follow the right steps as far as gathering the evidence. We watched them put gloves on. We watched them take pictures. I even saw them numbering out. I mean, everything I saw showed a very good case. The guy was methodical, the prosecutor. Even when we talked to him, he seemed logical in the way he processed information that we told him. Maybe it wasn't at the pace I wanted or you felt he should go. But without knowing anything, it seemed like he was putting the puzzle together.
What do you think?
It wasn't haphazard what he was doing. I feel that he was really putting it together as the system works. He obviously he knows. You got to have A to get B, you got to have B to get C. It's got to fit together this way, and I think that's also driving the way what evidence they're interested in, where their priorities are. Why aren't they looking for ancillary people or ancillary stuff? They seem pretty focused on what they're doing. I assume, just assuming, it's because they want to get the murder charges and they want to lock that in.
This whole flow of information started with the gossip and rumors on the boating community network, and all of those guys were feeding information into the people that contacted me, and then eventually led me to you. So, do you have anything you'd like to say to those guys?
Keep it up. It's neighborhood watch. I mean, they are textbook neighborhood watch, just like you read about. The neighbors check on the neighbors. What's Billy Bob doing over there, around behind the air conditioning unit? So, keep it up. I mean, is it frustrating? Yes. Is a lot of it off the wall? Yes. Probably is a neighborhood watch.
So they have a tendency to gossip and rumor, and they talk about one another. However, they knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I guess what I meant by keep it up is keep looking out for your neighbor. They're a human. They have a family. Even if you've never talked to them, if you see something weird going on, don't make judgment against them. Just be aware that maybe something bad is happening. And, you know, once again, it's not about passing judgment. It's not about getting in their business. Don't agree with that. But I do agree that you should always keep an eye out for your fellow, whether it's fellow cruiser, fellow neighbor, fellow American, fellow citizen of Panama, whatever. You know, and if you see something, address it. If you see a boat floating for 2 weeks next to you, why not do something a little more than just watching? Because there's examples of people who did want to get information flowing, and there's other people who looked the other way. Green Twilight sat out there for 2 weeks.
Well, the other thing is that nobody went and filed a missing persons report on your uncle until you did.
Yeah, that is huge.
Yeah.
And I would bet a nickel that in any other country, until you go there, you just can't count on the embassies or anyone in Washington or anyone anywhere to press some magic button and get things going. And I wouldn't expect that, but I was lulled into thinking it was true. I really thought for a week that all my emails I was sending to them and they were responding, I thought that was doing something. It was doing absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
They'll listen to you, they'll say thank you, but, you know, it goes to show you that you got to do it yourself.
Yeah, so I mean, I would encourage anyone who is concerned, and in this case it was, you know, I guess obvious that something bad was going on, and by the time I got here, the French case had already started coming out, and it was easier for me to see this is really something serious going on. But, you know, even if you have any doubts, you need to check into it yourself in the right way with the authorities. But you've got to do it on a local level, no question. If you don't do that, you also need to be sure that you've got some mechanism, and this is kind of the next of kin thing. Always let someone know where you're going, what you're doing. I mean, you hear about it. How many people in the world forget to do that? I can't encourage anyone enough, anyone who comes to Panama from the United States, even whether they're building a house, starting a business, coming for vacation, just do the right things and let people know where you are and what you're doing.
You know, that's something else that's a thought that crossed my mind this morning, is have kind of an information drop kit. You know, it's like if something happens to me and I fall off the face of the planet, give this file to the FBI because it's got everything on my boat and what I'm doing and where I come from and what I'm going and all, you know.
Account numbers, whatever, power of attorney, how far you want to go, I don't know. I mean, it could be you came here to do business.
Now,
you set up a business.
What would have happened, do you think, if your uncle didn't have close friends, family members, or a guy like you to come down here and look for him? Do you think that Javier Martin would have got caught?
Absolutely not. Yeah, he'd be gone. I don't think he'd be caught at all. They'd already brought him in, released him on the French case. Nothing. He would have gone. I don't believe. I don't know. He was going to Colombia. I don't know how easy he knew Colombia. It wasn't like it was his first trip there. I'm sure he had some network or some ability to move around.
But I think Javier Martin got caught because you came down here. That was
because I came down here and you put me right where I should be at the right time. Yeah, no question, I mean, no question.
But if you didn't come, if a guy like Don didn't have those friends or family members, then Javier Martin might have got away with it. You know,
if it's someone you care about and you're sitting there thinking maybe I ought to do something, do something.